Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Green. You're watching AMTV, Alternative Media Television, the first ever Bitcoin Academy in the world at bitcoinrich.com with thousands of students. I've got a very important video today, something that I think is an extraordinary opportunity. First, check our disclosure statements on our website. I am not an investment advisor. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving you investment advice. Invest at your own risk. This is a paid promotional video. So check all that out on our website and the website of the company and this new exciting ICO that I am reviewing today. Drum roll, please. Company's name is Verasity. Verasity, which means truth. Truth. Now, what's extraordinary about this platform, and I'll be going through the pros, cons, where I see the strengths are, and also looking at their roadmap, where I think the challenges are with this particular ICO. For those of you that don't know what an ICO is, it is an initial coin offering. So basically, it's like an IPO. It's democratized finance, and there are now thousands of companies around the world coming to the public open market and bypassing Wall Street to build brand new companies all over the world in all kinds of industries. And this is a very, very interesting project. Verasity means truth, is a next-generation video sharing platform designed to liberate creators and benefit viewers. Now, as somebody who's done social media for over a decade, when it used to be made fun of, and now it's turned into a multi-billion-dollar industry and business, my ears perk up, especially when I'm looking at projects that are contesting the big oligopolies that control video streaming and video sharing today, just like how you're watching across your smartphone devices right now. This project aims to contest and change the ball game of the viewer experience and change the relationship between publishers and creators like myself and also you, the viewer, and in addition to that, the advertisers and sponsors that are a part of this growing community that, again, has turned into a multi-billion-dollar industry. I mean, YouTube has something like 1 billion eyeballs a day or something on the platform like that. It is absolutely crazy and extraordinary. Now, this token sale just went on sale yesterday, so it's brand new. It's just come to market. They have sold 451 million tokens thus far at 0.00758 Vera. What is a Vera? That's their token. That's the coin. Okay, this is what an ICO is. So that's less than a penny for 1 VRA, which will hopefully in the future be listed on one of the major exchanges, like what we see with the exchanges I review in the course, like Poloniex, Binance, Kraken, the list goes on and on. Gemini, the Winklevoss twins, those rowers that are now billionaires because they invested in Bitcoin and also had a huge settlement from Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg because they alleged that he stole their idea for Facebook. So we have 451 million of these coins in circulation and 22 hours and 47 minutes before the price will increase. I'll get into all those specifics in a moment. So what is Verasity? What is it? Verasity is a disruptive new video sharing platform that rewards the entire community for their work. Now, this is what is really interesting about this project and where I see a lot of strength, is it's created an ecosystem around the actual token. I'll play this video in the background. You can see it playing while I'm speaking here. It's created an entire ecosystem around itself, okay, by tokenizing the platform Verasity. Now, this is different than what we see with YouTube and Facebook, although they're working on this now. In fact, Mark Zuckerberg, one of the major ventures right now is hiring blockchain experts and potentially even building a Facebook coin. Google's also looking into this as well. In fact, they've been trying to acquire Vitalik Buterin, who is the Russian/hacker guy who created the Ethereum blockchain, which is the second largest market capitalization in the world. I mean, we're looking at a market, folks, that is a $400 billion market cap. Bitcoin, off the top of my head, I think is 160-ish billion the last time I checked. This is a market that people can no longer ignore. This is a market soon to become a multi-trillion-dollar market. So when we zero in here and we target in on Verasity, this disruptive new liberating video platform that is tokenized, this community and incentivize everybody. So let me tell you how it incentivizes everybody in the community. It really is pretty cool. So as a publisher or creator like myself, maybe some of you tuning in also create content and videos, you'll actually be rewarded with Vera coins. If the community likes the video that you do, it's almost like the new thumbs up, but it's real money. It is tokens in the form of Vera. So you can reward the creators that you like. If you like a video, you reward them directly. Here's what's even cooler. As a viewer, you also get paid. You get paid by sponsors that will pay you in Vera if you choose to watch an ad. In fact, they're actually going to give you a choice, whether or not you want to bypass advertisements, or if you want to watch them, which you now can do, you'll be paid Vera by the advertisers and sponsors themselves. So you'll accumulate coins. You'll accumulate Vera. Now, what's really cool about this is all of it stays within the ecosystem itself. So everybody is rewarded, not just creators and publishers, but also the viewer and also the advertisers that are concerned. They want real eyeballs on their product. Okay, they don't want people just bypassing through advertisements. They actually want real attention. This makes me think of other coins which are different, but things like BAT, Basic Attention Token, and of course the dozens of other review videos that we've done in our private course at 𝐵itcoinRich.com. Check those out. Click the link below as well. So this is really incredible because what we have in the media world is middlemen. And we see this in a lot of industries. This is why blockchain technology is so disruptive, because it completely cuts out the middleman. Let me give you an example. If you're a creator and a publisher online, on YouTube, for example, and you're moving millions and millions of eyeballs every single month, you're being paid pennies on the dollar. Pennies. Nothing. In comparison to what the advertisers are getting, in comparison to what the company itself, the centralized companies are getting. That's how these companies and these oligopolies make billions and billions and billions of dollars every single year in advertising, because they're keeping it all for themselves. It's not democratized. Also, censorship is a really big problem. I'll be getting into that in a moment, where I see some criticism and challenges potentially had for ventures like Verasity, which they're going to have to meet if they're truly going to build a competitor to rival these other major companies like Alphabet and Facebook in this major industry today. Also, people are very concerned with privacy. So to me, what this does is it cuts out middlemen and middlewomen everywhere. It emboldens and rewards creators. Let me tell you another challenge that creators have. Because there is no real incentivization per video, creators are almost incentivized to just dump more and more content every single day, where it loses its quality, because you're trying to make revenue as a publisher and a creator. Many of you that do this, maybe tuning in, can attest to this. What that does is it lowers and degrades the quality of content that's actually being hosted on these platforms that all these companies have to pay for to host, that's glutting the centralized system and the servers and all these kinds of things. So what this does, for the first time in history, and there are other tokens out there attempting to do this, and this is where I'll get into some of the challenges here in a moment. For the first time, it cuts out that middleman and actually rewards directly the creators behind the camera, like Alex over there, me, the person in front of the camera, our team, our crew. Allows us to grow, invest in infrastructure, buy new equipment, hire people, raise people's salaries, all these kinds of things. It creates an ecosystem to do that. Now, we can look at their token distribution here, which I encourage you to do. Again, do your own research. I'm not giving financial advice, investment advice. Any investment can lose all of its value, including not just ICOs, but including every single stock in the U.S. stock market. So invest at your own risk. But here we're looking at the token distribution. The token sale allocation is roughly 50%. You see the team has an allocation of about 20. The list goes on and on here. You can see the token price as it scales from 0.00750 over time, and it's raised 1% per day, I believe. Just opened up May 21st, ends on July 11th. KYC and whitelist required. Open to U.S. accredited investors, which a lot of these tokens are not. In fact, one of the tokens I spoke about privately in the 𝐵itcoinRich Academy not too long ago wasn't open to U.S. investors when we actually were reviewing it. So that's something that is of keen interest for those of you that are in the States. We actually have a very global audience, by the way. 54% of the eyeballs that now tune into alternative media television, tens of millions of views every single month, tune in from North America and also Canada. I think it's like 5, 6, 7, 8% or something like that. The rest of it's completely global. People don't realize this. We have millions of eyeballs tuning in all around the world in places like Japan and Asia and China and India, also European countries. It's really quite interesting because you need to understand that blockchain tech is globalized. It's going to destroy Wall Street. It already is. It's destroying real estate. It's destroying video platforms, as this new project Verasity attempts to do. Now, of course, to participate in a token sale like this, built on the Ethereum blockchain, you do need an ERC20 compatible wallet required to receive tokens. Minimum purchase is 10,000 Vera, and if I'm correct off the top of my head, I think that's like less than $100, like 70 to 80 US fiat dollars, soon to be worthless fiat dollars, by the way. It's why I'm such a big believer in cryptocurrency. So the minimum's pretty low to get involved. Under $100. You do need an ERC20 compatible wallet, which I go over in my course. If you're interested in that, click the link below. Join us at BitcoinRich.com and click the links. I've got all the links for Verasity.io so you can read the white paper, etc. Verasity for viewers. View great video content. Get rewarded for viewing. Earn Vera by supporting channels that you love. This is what I think is awesome because as a viewer, all of you tuning in, for example, are participating in what alternative media television does. This enriches the community, and I'm going to get into something that's super, super interesting that this team and project has unloaded I haven't seen anywhere else. Create channels and upload videos, multiple monetization methods, fund development of your channel. This is really cool. This is something I've never heard of before, and I think it's awesome what they've come up with. It's called Vera Sparks. Creators can sell a portion of their channel's future revenue on Verasity in exchange for Vera. This Vera can be used to accelerate growth in a channel, and users who buy Vera Sparks share in the success helped to create. So for the first time ever, the creators have an opportunity if they need to raise financing, where the actual viewers can crowdsource and crowdfund using the token Vera, participating in the channel as an investment, then being rewarded in the future if those investments are fruitful and the channel grows and the creator is doing a good job and everybody gets rewarded along the way. Now, that sounds amazing, by the way. I mean, that's so interesting. A couple questions I have around that for the team that I don't have answered yet, but I'd like to find out is, well, what does that mean? How do you come up with the valuation? You know, one of the challenges with being somebody in an intangible like the video space is how do you value a company when most of its value is intangible? I mean, people thought YouTube wasn't worth anything 10 years ago. Now it's worth billions and billions of dollars, just like they didn't think Google was worth anything. And you get a lot of that in technology companies. So I'm not sure the specifics on how they plan to do that, but the fact that they're rolling that out is an extreme benefit and something I've not seen before. Now, there are a couple challenges I see in this space. This space is highly fragmented. Okay, I've sat on the boards of other projects before. It's very capital intensive, infrastructure intensive, and it's very competitive. There's a lot of video platform sharing sites out there that are trying to get those eyeballs, but it's tough to attract them. And the reason is it really starts with the technology and the ease of use. For example, the billions and billions of eyeballs now tuning in around the world are all on these large platforms. And even though there's some complaining and there's censorship and there's question of privacy and all these kinds of things, it's tough to pull people off these platforms into a new platform like Verasity. I think it's a challenge, and I think that the executive team here is going to have to work at that. Recommendations that I would have would actually be to hire spokespeople and creators at the top of their game to help move the traffic and the eyeballs the direction of the actual platform. In addition, I would couple it with amazing technology, and what I think they've done a really good job with is they've created an ecosystem that I haven't seen before, which is tokenized the experience, which actually rewards creators and publishers and viewers for the first time. Imagine making money. You're eating popcorn, watching your favorite viewer. Not only can you invest with Vera Sparks and participate in future revenues, you're making tokenized income and earnings that can be transferred out to fiat if you want to do that. I keep most of my stuff in cryptocurrency because I believe it's going to go another 1,000x in certain areas, potentially even here with this particular ICO. But we've never seen a democratization of incentives like this ever. And it's very sad for creators and creative types because very few people have been able to survive. For example, alternative media television is one of the few alternate models that is actually done very, very well because we've risen to the top over the last 10 years. We got started very early. and we've been able to monetize what we do. But for those people that are hobbyists, that maybe have something really important to say in a very niche market or something like that, have just gone out of business or they're censored into oblivion. Another challenge that I think Verasity, visit their website, Verasity.io, to participate in the token sale if you're interested. Again, invest at your own risk. Click the link below right now and read their white paper. Is another challenge that they're going to have to meet. Because in this industry, I know this firsthand, anytime there is a competitor video platform that actually does a good job of attracting eyeballs, guess what happens? The big bad wolf comes into town and wants to buy up those little companies and roll it back into the oligopolies. Okay, the same companies like Alphabet and Facebook. So there is a conflict of interest there as these platforms, if they are successful, a lot of the times the larger companies attempt to buy them out. And then it just becomes one of the same and we don't get anything different. So those are ethical and moral challenges that I think Verasity and the executive team and the investors themselves, those of you that potentially participate in this, will have to address at some point in the future if this is a success. Secondly, technology is very important. This is actually one of the areas I think potentially is a weakness of Verasity in terms of when I'm looking at their model. I noticed that the video player itself is a licensed video player. Now that can be really good. That can be really awesome. That could be 100% the right decision. I've even looked into some of these things myself before. But there are thousands of different video playing softwares that you can license. So it's not, from what I understand, I could be wrong, and I'll speak with the executive team, it's not a proprietary new creation. Now, they don't necessarily need that, but it's something I look at and go, well, it's not like it's something brand new that's been built. What is brand new, however, is the ecosystem that they've created, the tokenization of video social media, and what appears to be a very disruptive model to empower people to create content. Now, let's get into the censorship issue as well. This is another question that I have as a viewer and a potential investor is, you know, how are you going to handle censorship in the future? Are you going to let everybody speak? Because the way things are now, there's only approved speech on the platforms, then there's disapproved speech. There's what is approved and PC and politically correct and what's not approved. So if this truly is a platform to liberate the people and liberate the creators, then this should be an open model within reason. I mean, you know, hate speech and certain things like that, it does become a slippery slope, but violent acts and those kinds of things shouldn't be allowed on a platform. Same thing I think goes with copyright issues and these kinds of things. You want to protect the creators' interests, of which they address in the white paper that they will do. But this really is, in my opinion, an MVP in the space. And the platform features really are pretty great. I've never seen anything like this. Now you can check out the Vera player here. Okay, it's just a sampling of the player that I'm assuming that they license, which has proof of view technology, HTML5, full HD, and 60 frames per second playback, which, by the way, are we shooting in 60 seconds right now? Looks amazing. We love it. It's so real. It's so engaging. It's so in your face. What I want to talk about, though, is something that is proprietary to Verasity, which I think is really cool, called proof of view. Okay, so some of you have probably heard of bots, where people try to fake views online, although I think it's harder to do that nowadays. Like, they'll boot you if they find out you're doing that. But what they're trying to do with proof of view is qualitatively and quantitatively authenticate true, real eyeballs and viewership on a particular video and on a particular platform. So the advertiser itself has 100% complete transparency on who the demographics are, who the people are tuning in, so they know whether or not they want to advertise or not. This is great, because this is something I've experienced over the last 10 years building our own social media network and platform with over 500,000 people tuning in daily just in the crypto space, and with alternative media television with news, politics, economics, and educational courses and all the things that we do. Is there needs to be more transparency, and we have to be able to show. This is what advertisers and sponsors want. They want to see real results, real tangible value, and proof of actual work. So proof of view, which is proprietary to Verasity, I think are doing a really good job in helping to quantify that. Why is that so important? Because you've taken in a space that a lot of people have overlooked, thought it's an intangible. Of course, now they know it's not. It's actually very real. It's turned into many millions, billions of dollars. Some of the highest paid YouTubers, for example, make tens, 20 million plus dollars a year, not just online with advertising, but also with sponsorships and these kinds of things. We've seen it even with our own business with 1,000x rates of growth return. We are entering a stage. That's why blockchain is so incredible, so liberating. The future of everything. It's freedom. It means free elections. It means cutting out the middlemen. Finally, creators and viewers around the world can go from making pennies on the dollar to full dollars, to potentially going from hundreds of dollars a month in earnings, where most people are going to go out of business, to thousands, to tens of thousands, to 7, 8, 9, 10 figures and beyond. And all of this is possible within blockchain itself. So they have their own video hosting and distribution. They have chosen to use a content management system on the cloud that is centralized, which some people will question that, which we'll see what they do with that. There's a difference between centralizing cloud video and using a peer-to-peer network. Peer-to-peer network, in theory, is the best way to go, in my opinion. I mean, that's really how Bitcoin works. I would prefer that. But it's tougher to create a network peer-to-peer that is completely on the hosting side when you're looking at costs and these kinds of things. So this is an area I would like to learn more about. This is a question that I have. This is critical thinking, is they've chosen to centralize video hosting. Is that necessarily what you want to do? I think that's debatable. Truly, I would much prefer to see a peer-to-peer, true peer-to-peer network on this side over here that couldn't be disrupted just because if you're hosting something in just one place, it can be shut down. Blockchain, secure wallets, internal exchange. So really, to sum up, guys, what this is a disruptive, liberating, veracity, truth, platform, tokenization of an underground economy unlike we've really ever seen before, which incentivizes the trifecta of not just creators, publishers, you, the viewer. You can even participate in investing in the platforms itself, in addition to creating a transparent, lucrative, and profitable environment for the sponsors and advertisers at the same time. What does this mean to the world? Better content, feature films, the growth of real art, real criticism, uncensored, real, hard-hitting and in your face. Everything that we've been fighting for almost now over a decade. That is amazing. There's incredible potential with that. And also, I encourage you to read their economic model here. This is another paper that you can read about how Veracity's created a new decentralized crypto economy built around shared video content, viewership, engagement. Check all of that out. You can read through their roadmap here. Do your own research. I have just touched the surface. Dig into their management. They have a really good team. They put together a lot of people in various industries that have been in disruptive video for a very long time. Do your own research. Read the white paper itself. Ask questions. In fact, this is where I want to hear from you. Put your comment question in the box below. What have I not gone over? What do you think that maybe Veracity could do better? What could they add? What are they doing really well? Where do you see the common criticisms or challenges in terms of the roadmap of what they're trying to achieve here? Again, this is a very challenging, fragmented, and multi-billion-dollar industry where just a handful of companies control all of the viewership. So there's quite a bit of competition in this area. The survivors, in my opinion, have to have a phenomenal technology. But more importantly than that, it's all about eyeballs. It's all about views. I would like to see a strategy, and I think that they need key players in the creator publishing world to actually bring in the viewer, because at the end of the day, it's all about ownership of the audience. Okay, and this is something we look at with the oligopolies today. They own the audience, not you, the creator. They do. So it's very difficult as a creator to continue siphoning off to multiple platforms and trying to push people, the hive mind, into these other areas. To be successful in doing that, they're going to need a very good strategy. They're going to need incredible top-notch marketing, and I think they're going to need spokesmodel men and women at the top of their game to make that happen. That's where I would see a disadvantage unless they implement that in the future, because again, in the end, it's about ownership of audience, and it's the user base growth and acquisition itself. That's where all the money is. That's where the advertisers and sponsors are interested in. That's what the creators are interested in, so they have an audience, and that's what the publishers or the viewers, you tuning in, are interested in, so that you get quality content. At the end of the day, the idea that we could democratize ownership of actual amazing content and incentivize amazing art going out to the world Well, that's just an incredible idea, and I think anybody with half a brain will want to see that happen. That's how we grow as humanity, as a society, as a community, and more importantly, it's how you grow potentially companies like Verasity into multi-billion-dollar companies that could threaten the very likes of the all too big to fail monopolies that we see today that control all the user traffic. And we have issues with privacy and censorship and tracking and all these kinds of things now, which concerns all of us. So click the link below right now. Visit Verasity with an S.io. That's Verasity with an S.io. Do your own due diligence, your own research. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm not telling you to invest in this particular venture. Invest at your own risk and read our disclosures on our website. Other than that, I think this is a very, very interesting project. There's features of it I've never seen before, and I'll be studying up more myself. Put your comments, questions in the box below. Get it out everywhere, and click those links.